What up, my poops? And I'm trying it. I'm finally gonna try it. This is gonna be my very first build video for Destiny 2. So what I did for this is all of my fragments and aspects went back to nothing. All of my gear went back to nothing. My weapons went back to nothing, and I just built from the ground up. And I've been experimenting all day on this, and I'm at a point now where I'm pretty friggin' happy with where it's at. So this is going to be a Void Hunter build, and we're going to be using the new armor set bonus for the EU technology set, which reads two-piece is Gift of the Ley Lines. Rapidly defeating combatants with void energy spawns a void breach. Four-piece Techian's Foresight. After collecting a void breach, your next final blow with a void weapon triggers a detonation. The detonation is more powerful if it's triggered quickly after collecting a void breach. So a lot of this build is going to be centered around void breaches and what they can do for us. So I suppose the first place we can start is the actual fragments aspects and whatnot themselves. So we're going to be running Deadfall for our ultimate, our super, sorry, just so we can get adds closer together because we're going to benefit from a lot of guys being close together. We're going Gambler's Dodge to get some melee energy back. I'll explain more on that in a bit later. Triple jump, whichever jump, that really doesn't matter. It's just whatever preference you want. We're using the new Phantom Surge Hunter Melee, which gives us a Void Overshield when we hit a combatant. And then we are just using, I've been still sort of experimenting with which grenade to use, but Scatter Grenade seems like a pretty good one at the moment, so we're just going to stick with that. For the aspects, we're using On the Prowl, so we can get invisibility, and then defeating weakened targets makes us and our allies invisible, which we're going to be doing a lot of. So even though we're not using Graviton Forfeit, we're going to be invisible a lot of the time, so this helps with that. And then we're going to be using Stylist Executioner also, so defeating weakened, suppressed, or volatile targets grants invisibility. So I might be double dipping there, but we'll see how we go with that. So with the fragments, we are rocking the Echo of Exchange, so melee final blows will give us grenade energy back. We are using Echo of Harvest, so defeating weakened targets creates an Orb of Power and a Void Breach. Echo of Underming, if I'm saying that right. Our Void Grenades weaken targets. That way they're slowed and they take increased damage from us. We're using Echo of Persistence, so our buffs last longer, our Invisibility, our Overshear, and our Devour, which we're going to have all three of these active 90% of the time. They're going to be active if we're in a fight. Overshield is always going to be active because of the exotic that we're using for the build. And then we're using Echo of Starvation, so picking up a Void Breach or an Orb of Power grants us Devour. So we're going to have Invisibility up almost not 100% of the time. We're going to have Devour up most of the time. We're going to have Overshield up almost 100% of the time. And we're going to be invisible a lot of the time also. So we've got a lot of stuff going on here. Cracking on to the weapons and gear. So obviously we're using the EU technology set. I think it's this one here. We'll go to this screen here for the mods that we're using for the gear. So for the helmet, we're rocking weapon stats for everything. That should be, that there should be weapons. So we'll swap, no we won't. We'll put that back on grenades. So we've got 100 grenade stat. So for the helmet, we're going to be rocking obviously weapons, special ammo finder because of the exotic weapon that we're using. Hands on, so we get bonus super energy on melee kills, which are going to have our melee up a lot of the time. So this is going to help with getting our super back a little bit faster. We're using Harmonic Siphon, obviously, so we can generate more orbs of power. With the arms, we're going to whack a grenade stat in. Harmonic Loader, so we get a bit more reload with our weapons. And then we're doing 2 momentum transfers. That way our grenade can reduce our melee cooldown. And then our melee is going to be reducing our grenade cooldown, so they feed into each other. For the chest piece, we're just going all resistances there. For the legs, we're using Fortune's Favor. This is what's going to keep our overshield up. I'll touch on that after this. We're using Innovation. That way we reduce our grenade cooldown each time we pick up an orb, which is going to be a lot. Void Weapon Surge, just because why not? And then another Invitation. So we can get more grenade stat on our weapon. Special finisher, that way if we're running low on special, we get a finisher on our enemy. That way we ensure that we get some special ammo back. Time dilation, so our armor charges last a bit longer. And then we're going to be using a bomber. So we reduce our grenade cooldown when using our class ability. And then going over the gear, so the exotic that we're using is Fortune's Favor. After landing a final blow at full health or when out of combat for an extended duration, your shields will slowly recharge into an overshield. When you have an overshield, your weapons gain increased accuracy, stability, handling, and damage against combatants. So this is good. So we've always got a good damage buff here just from having an overshield. So I'll put the bonus up on the screen now for what that damage bonus is. And final blows will grant a short period of increased mobility once the shield is depleted, which doesn't matter to us because our shields are never really going to be depleted. And then for our weapon of choice, so I've done a bit of testing, and I've given alternatives. So if people don't have the Choir of One, but Choir of One is the weapon of choice for this, preferably with destabilizing rounds, because the premise of this Void build is going to be Void breaches, pick them up, big Void explosions, more Void breaches, more Void explosions, and then it just changes and changes and changes. And Choir of One is also a very good weapon for dealing with bosses and stuff too, because you've got your ADS fire, which is your normal rate of fire, and then if you're just firing from the hip where it shoots that 5 rounds at a time sort of spread. So we get the best of both worlds using the Choir of One. And then with the trait for the weapon, so this just adds to more tick damage that we've got going on. So final blows cause targets to explode into a pool of radiolarian fluid. So that's just going to help with tick damage if we've got a lot of like red bar enemies or something like that around, like mini bosses or like elites and stuff like that. But if you don't have the Choir of One, really just any weapon that has destabilizing rounds is pretty well good to go. I found if you can use a Recluse purely for its origin trait, if you're struggling with grenade regeneration, because the origin trait for this is Indomitability. Final blows grant grenade energy when playing a light subclass, which is what we're playing Void, or melee for Dark, which is not what we're going to use, because we've got so much stuff feeding our grenade melee energy. We don't have to worry about being on a Dark subclass to generate melee energy. So if you don't have Choir of One, just any weapon with destabilizing rounds will do. But if you can get a Recluse, I would recommend this above the rest of them. You can also attune for the Recluse. If you go over to your attunement, go to the Onslaught. It's the first one in Onslaught there. So you can attune that, run some Onslaughts. That way you guarantee yourself to get at least a couple drops on your way through to get that. So we'll show some quick... Oh, let me just get back to Choir 1. I'll show a bit of gameplay for it here. So this is against yellow bar enemies. So what we do, start off, tether, get them in close. Hit our melee, they'll all blow up. Pick up a Void Breach. There's a Void Breach. Oh, where is it? There it is there. And then when we get a kill after picking up a Void Breach, we get that big explosion. And they drop another Void Breach. Reload our gun. He dies. He picks up a Void Breach. He dies. He'll drop another Void Breach. So I'll run through it there a bit faster without the super. And then as you can see on the left there, no, you can't see that because my camera is in the way. So we'll just put that up there for now so you can see the buffs. Get the ammo back. Get this back. So we won't use our super this time, just so we can see. So you die. We got Volatile. He'll drop a Void Breach. Pick up the Void Breach. Big explosion. You dead. You dead. Drop a Void Breach. Grenade at the back there. Do that. As long as we're always picking up Void Breaches, and you can see these little radiolarian pools here, that's them. And then we're obviously chaining destabilizing rounds because we're spreading Volatile. Volatile is spreading Weaken. And then when we defeat a weakened enemy, they're going to spawn a Void Breach. I had a bit of a brain fart there. So yeah, that's pretty much the crux of it. We'll go over the artifact mod here now. So we're using the MPA Repulsion Regulator. I have tested also using the Slayer Baron, but I feel like this one's not as good uh, as the MPA Repulsion Regulator, so we'll stick with this one. So for the 3 slot ones, we're going to be using Supernova. So picking up a Void Breach causes our next source of Void energy to create a large weakening pulse. So this one I just switched recently. Originally I had Protective Breach on, so picking up a Void Breach gives us an Overshield, which is handy. So if you don't have Fortune's Favor Pants, that'll work really well for you, because then you can get a bit of survivability by running Protected Breach, so you're always getting an Overshield. But if you do have the exotics, you're going to want to run Void Weapon Channeling, so we get a temporary bonus to weapon damage after we defeat a target with a Void Weapon, while at least one of our abilities is fully charged, and then that damage bonus is increased again if we have all 3, our class, melee, and grenade abilities full, so we get a bigger bonus from that. And then we've got Volatile Flow, so picking up an Orb of Power grants us Volatile rounds, which we're doing a lot of because our kills are generating orbs. And then we've got Unto the Breach, defeating a Void debuffed target, spawns a Void Breach, that way we're getting more, so that's that Weakening Pulse and Volatile that spreads to the other enemies, we kill them, they spawn Void Breaches, those Void Breaches go off more Weakening Pulses, drop more Void Breaches, so then we pick those up, they're going to do big booms and destabilizing it. It just all keeps looping back in on itself, so it's really, really strong. But yeah, if you're still here at this point of the video, this is my first build, and I'm pretty chuffed with it. I do like it. I've been playing it all day today because I've been testing it, and yeah, if you do like it, give it a go and let me know if you think it is any good. Drop a comment if there's anything that I could tweak to make it a little bit better. I apologize if I rushed through this. This is my first time doing this again, so I sort of just blasted through it a little bit there, but I hope I was in depth enough for you to sort of register what it is I was saying and like my thought process behind all of it. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe, really helps me out a lot. And again, if you want to catch all this stuff live, you can come over to my twitch.tv/Sediction, where I stream every single weekday from 9:30 AM to 3 PM Australian time. And I hope to see you there. Peace.